Are you guys ready to get going? Because I forgot what I was going to do this week, and then I've been running around all day.
Totally ready.
Like normally the case, I'm ready.
Ready?
Okay. So welcome everyone to another episode of the Gale of Brockheart, brought to you by AED&D. You're here with S2E17, the DM, who is myself. We have Knervishblurgen, Donnie Danger, and the Man Bear. If they were listening, they'd say hi. But
Oh,
I
I just set you up perfectly, and you all let the ball drop.
I don't like playing with balls.
we just keep dropping them. Dropping the ball.
That's why I don't like playing with them. They're
Drop
gross.
the ball like New Year's, baby.
I mean, you have two to play with all the time. Maybe you should just give them a little
I don't
thing
play
every
with my
once in a while.
balls. Nope.
Every
Don't play
once
with
in
the
a while.
balls.
What, are you scared you'll like it?
No, maybe.
No, maybe.
Anywho, we're on shit. I think it's episode 17 now. So we've essentially ran this campaign as long as I did my first season.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a marathon.
This one's been more consistent though, because I think the last time we ended up taking a couple times off. But that was over the summer too.
We usually run yours over the summer, and yeah, we usually have like big breaks because you're such a popular dude. Leaving me and Donnie Danger to just sit here lonely on Friday nights with nothing to do except for play with our balls.
At the time, you guys were in the same town, so you guys could get together at the bar and have a drink.
We did.
Oh,
So yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Anywho, but I don't know how long we're gonna go, but I have plenty in my brain.
Let's do it.
So, yeah. Any questions before we get started? Oh, everyone, don't forget to like, subscribe, review, rate, and give a follow, share. That goes for you too, Man Bear and Donnie and Knervishblurgen.
I follow you on Twitch.
No, share the podcast.
Oh, I don't even know how to do that.
If you go to the podcast site, you just click the share button and then you spam it on people's inboxes.
Oh.
That's such a dick move.
Isn't that what the bots do?
That too. So you rent a bot and you just have them send it to a whole bunch of people.
Just tell someone that their long lost wealthy uncle died, and the only way that we can get them the money is if they watch the Guild of Brockheart.
Yeah. It'll work?
Yeah, if they can prove they watched all the episodes, 14 million British pounds or whatever will be wired to their account.
Hey, we keep Knervishblurgen.
We have something here.
For the operation. He's got the plans.
Okay, so other than that, anyone have any topics to bring up? Oh, besides we will be gone for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to bring up. 3 weeks off. Aren't we doing Wednesdays?
No. So we can do Wednesday next week, Wednesday the week after that, but the week after that I can't do any day during the week. So we'll be for sure missing 1 week. I'm available to do Wednesdays for the next 2 weeks.
That works.
They'll probably be short sessions, but it might give me time to catch up on other stuff. Like creating a list of plants and going through you guys' character sheets and leveling up your stuff like I was supposed to do.
Ooh.
Oh.
A little bit of that. I got some skills that are like at 200% level.
Well, that's on you. I level mine up until they hit a major point, which is orders of 4, if I remember correctly.
4, 6, 8, 10.
I got scan that needs a branch or something. I don't really know what to do with that.
Oh yeah, we initially talked that like you want to have a passive scan versus a full action scan.
Oh yeah, that would have been really nice.
Because you have to, in order for it to count as a point, you have to use it as an action, which would still be the case, but like you would just have like the basic like information. Like that one, I'm directly ripping off like a Final Fantasy, where like instead of like or question mark as their HP, you might know the whole HP. What element that
Maybe-
they're based upon. Probably won't find out their strengths and weaknesses, but unless you actually use it. But like the basic stuff.
Yes, I would like that. Just passive, basic scan.
Yeah.
Then I can level it up faster because I would just use it all the time.
Yeah. I'll have to figure out how to do the leveling thing. It might be once per character per person. And
Oh.
it's probably gonna be something like you have to have your attention on it like at the start of your turn. So like yeah.
I guess we'll see how that works. I just
Something.
don't like level things that I have to take a turn to do.
I can only do so much for you.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah. So
Dad,
recap time, right?
Yep.
There
Yeah.
wasn't that much
are
that
we gonna watch a little
duh,
bit
duh,
of
duh.
TV, you said?
After I'm done.
Okay, so last time on the Guild of Brockheart, our adventurers woke up in the nice morning of Ahkasai and were in the hotel room. Gale was the first one to wake up and went down to say good morning to everyone else who rolled out of bed and walked down the stairs. He, sat around, talked with the guards, talked with Colton. Gnomeface was one of the first ones to come down, talked to him, and then left without eating breakfast. Bold move, Cotton, but we'll see how it plays out. And then, yeah, I think towards the end, Sven got up, or Sven was up and was able to, eat plenty himself and, got a coupon since the hotel stay and food is comped because of the deal, that they have or whatever. So then he got a coupon to go to the farm and get feed for Wilhelm. Wilhelm, yes.
Yep.
So yeah, starting with Gnomeface, who went up and searched around, or went up to the second layer. He searched around a whole bunch, and he ended up sold a couple things of gear and bought like a robe, and then he ended up like stumbling across this weird shop deep in an alleyway. And while he was in there, he he met the owner, who was a very interesting person, to say the least. And the this shopkeep seemed to have like an obsession when it came to his Gnomeface's like elemental blades, the fire sword and the water sword. After some talking and discussions between the two of them, and a little challenge that he provided for Gnomeface, he talked about where the third one is able to be found. Lighting up and exposing that he actually found the wood sword himself and was holding on to it on the back of the, or in the, in a display on his shelf. Gnomeface took that as an opportunity to jump up and go get it, and halfway there, halfway there on his earthen shield, the shield just got vaporized, falling to the ground, and he sat on the ground waiting for the shopkeep to walk up the ladder and grab it for him. It made Gnomeface a little curious, or quizzical. Yes.
Confused.
Confused. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But yeah, so then it ended with the interaction ended with Gnomeface promising the shopkeep, but also being able to walk out with the stone blade, which then makes 3 out of 4. And while that was towards around the time that was happening, Sven and Wilhelm ended up going or taking their turn up to the second level, and Gale with Colton, we're actually skipping the second level and going straight to the third because Gale needs to get to the fourth.
Excuse me.
Remember.
It's kind of. This is kind of good.
Oh, okay. 'Cause you guys were awfully loud to me, but I think that's just because my
When you're
headphones are
doing
set there.
who's as in a possessive, how do you write it?
Who apostrophe S.
Apostrophe? If you.
So, I think Sven, we're gonna start with you. There's not much to see since I don't have a different picture to show you guys of the 4 levels. I could not find one I liked. That was a good representation.
Sure, but the way you described it, towards the center of the second level, there's the Colosseum, right? And right around that are shops for arms and armor. And the further away you get from that, the less aggro the shops seem to be, at least in terms of their wares. Is that correct?
So there's not necessarily one Colosseum. There's like 4. So the
Okay.
elevators you took up is pretty much like in the middle of the second level. And like the north, south, east, and west in like the center of those like quadrants, if you drew like an X over the top, if in the and divided them up into quadrants that way, the north, south, east, and west had arenas in the middle, and right around the arenas is where you found your more of a like attacking stuff, like your armor and your weapons and stuff like that, and magic. But as you go out further out, you get more support stuff, and then just weird stuff further out than that until you hit the next one, and then so it's kind of like the like aggressiveness of it is high and then goes down and then back up as you hit the other arena. Does that make sense?
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Hello, Killer Drug. How are you today? Welcome back.
Bye.
Hello?
So, you get out, you pulled off to the side because you were asking questions and you also wanted to
Next.
calm Wilhelm down from screaming his entire way up to the top.
Yeah, it's his first light beam, or whatever that was. Levitation,
Yes,
facial
something.
distortion, whatever you want to call it.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, once he's calmed down, I'm gonna start looking towards one of those support stores you were talking about. Someone who knows a little bit about alchemy, a little bit about medicine, a little bit about plants.
So yeah, it's pretty obvious on where the hey gnome face.
Yeah.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Sure. Why? Can you hear the boy?
Quite a lot, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so it's pretty obvious where the arenas are because like that's where most of the people are going, and you know there's people challenging each other at the arenas all the time, so there's always a show going on. So as you like you get from like very crowded streets to a lot like spacious area. The streets are narrower because of this too. So like it's about the width of a cart. Pretty much like the only people coming down the streets are like loading, unloading, and like 1 or 2 people. And yeah, so like you find a bunch of weird stuff. You find like more of a, I'd say like in your first go, you would find someone who's more of a like a hobby gardener up here in this area. I'd say pick a direction.
Northwest.
All right. Yeah. So you end up finding like going towards what you see. You end up finding a like a gardener, like a hobby gardener, because they have plants all over the place, and kind of more of a I'd say probably more of a potion maker type of apothecary, or what seems to be like more of a potion maker.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I'll walk in. Who do I see in there?
Which one did you want to go to first?
Potion maker. Why not? That's not too far off from what I do.
Yeah. So you walk in. Excuse you. My dog just dropped his toy off the bed. Yeah. So you walk in, and it's pretty similar. Oh wait, you didn't go to the one in Quoth. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of like along the walls. There's just like uh ingredients like bat wing and just moth and stuff like that, just like pinned to the wall of like, yeah, you pretty much just go up, grab one of these up, put it in a bag, and like you kind of bulk shop that way. Um, and there's just a whole lot of weird stuff, and there's a potion or two, a cauldron or two, like in the lot, like the shop area. So it gives you the impression that like they do like potions on the go, or like they'll have a daily potion that they're selling that they're making that day type of thing. Um, and yeah, it's you see one worker, actually mixing in one of the cauldrons, and then another person behind the counter waiting for customers.
I'll talk to the guy stirring the cauldron.
The
Hey, what's the soup of the day?
this we got this a or hydration longer potion. It's supposed to keep you from getting dehydrated for a longer period of time while you're out in the hot sun. It's a pretty
Yeah,
popular one around here.
I imagine real handy in these parts. What are you charging for one of those?
Probably like 50 floids. I mean, they only like if you're gonna get dehydration, you'll just put it off for the day, like a half a day. So like a lot of the people who end up needing this are just like people who um are like running out real quick to come back, and they don't have time to focus on their hydration. But so yeah, it's a pretty cheap one. It's pretty easy to make. Just take some water from the old mountains over there, but a specific area that we found to be interesting.
Imagine that makes quick work of a hangover too, huh?
Yeah, I could imagine that wasn't the original intent, but yeah, I could see where you're going in there.
There's a marketing angle for you.
I will
Um,
I will tell this to the owner and mark that down.
I pull out one of these plants I picked up by that waterfall. Would you be able to tell me what this is or what it does?
Hmm. Um. He like looks at it for a second, takes a second, like take double takes on it and whatever. Okay, yeah. So he takes a second to actually look at it, and uh, he he's like, I vaguely remember it. I know it's more of a rarer one. He's like, where did you find this? Or did you say that already? I'm sorry.
Yeah, up over there by that waterfall. I imagine it's pretty easy to spot a mountain from here. So I point that way.
Oh, yeah,
We're on the northwestern side. We came from the west, so
he's like, are you saying the waterfall?
are there multiple?
Uh, well, I mean, I
I
don't
mean, I
know,
just said
but
that waterfall over there, but if there was like five, it would have been like, second one from the left.
no, like it's the waterfall around versus like a waterfall, it's the waterfall because like that's the only one around here. type of thing. He's like, oh, and he takes a second. He's like, I think this is one of the rarer ones. He's like, you didn't, if this is the one I'm thinking of, you didn't, get hurt while grabbing this?
Uh, I mean, I won't say it was safe, but still in one piece. It was a cool plant. You got to do what you got to do, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have an idea. Yeah, I can't tell you the effects necessarily. I'm still, you know, in my apprenticeship here, but I believe that has some like dispel nature, as like it can remove certain ailments. Um, in all honesty, you'd have to either ask the shop or the person behind the register. But I do know we do sell a book that actually has quite a lot of um a wide variety of plants in there, that if that's something that you're interested in, he's going to try to sell it to
Certainly.
you too. But
Oh, I mean, I'm interested. What are they? What's charging for it?
yeah, that's I'm not too sure. You'd have to talk to the shop, the person behind the register. I'm just mixing potions. I'm the
Okay,
one who's doing the grunt worker right now.
I feel you, man. Take it easy.
You too. Thanks for chatting.
I head over to the shop owner.
Yeah, so this one's a little okay. I kind of went through the rest of the stuff, but like uh imagine that when you're talking to him, it was just a HUD popped up and you just kept asking questions that was appeared on there, and you like literally just went through each line, and then he's like, oh, okay, I'm done. So that's what I meant to do. That's what it's supposed to do for most shops or whatever. But yeah, as you came here, the person's like, hey, how can I help you? And then the HUD pops up and it's like, I'd like to buy, talk, exit, that all good stuff. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I'd like to talk.
He goes, oh, how can I help? What do you want to talk about?
Can you tell me what this is? And I put the plant back up on the counter.
He looks at it for a second. He's like, yeah, 1 second. And you see him like reach behind and he grabs this like decent sized book. It's like kind of thick. But it's made to be more like a pocket sized. So it's like it's weird because it's like, I'd say it's kind of like the size of a calculator. Where like,
Something like just a big old thick but
yeah,
still
like
portable guy.
that. Yeah, like a pocket Bible or something like that.
Pocket ref.
That that works. Yeah,
Not
but
sponsored, but this thing has everything in it.
like that size, a little thick, and it's literally like one like broken down like 2 plants per page. And he flips through and like, oh, it looks like this one. And he says the name of it, to be made up later. And then so yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, that's looks like this. He's like, so based on the description here, it's in a humid air, about temperate, like um temperate heat temperature. Uh, and it said this one mostly in higher elevation and rocky slash stony dirt. Does that sound? Is that where you found this?
Yeah, right over by that waterfall over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it has here uh the initial effect is dispel of like fire, or dispelling burning. Um, And the secondary level would be more of a bit of fire resistance on it. By the way, meta-wise, I thought of something cool that can develop in your for a character. I'll have to talk to you about it, but it's something to come through when we start making the book of plants.
Okay.
Which is this is
Uh,
the book I'm referring to.
Oh, for sure. And I'm keenly interested in getting one. What book's that you got there?
Oh, yeah, this is the you know, something like the basic encyclopedia of plants with effects or something of that nature. Maybe a fancier title, but that's what I thought of. Because yeah, it's actually going for 200 Floyds. It has about like 200 plants in it. Nothing really exotic, but it's the stuff that you'll probably find out or the stuff you'll probably find on a regular basis just walking around.
So you're telling me this whole time, instead of just eating plants and finding out what happens after, I could have had a book? Cool.
Um I hate to be the first one to tell you this, but yeah, I'm glad you're still here. I'd like to start with that. There are a couple in here that's, like the first effect is death. Some quite a few more where that's the secondary effect.
Oh, let's say you only eat a little bit.
Then only a little bit of you dies.
You get better.
Like I said, I'm glad you're here. Um,
Um,
it also depends upon the
yeah,
potency of the
200 Floyds sounds pretty good, not gonna lie.
yeah, it's the so essentially the book is supposed to be more of a like an introductory, like, hey, this is something I felt like I wanted to do, like what's a resource I can purchase to get started, and so that's what the book is.
Okay. Um, but I mean, it looks like it also functioned as sort of a field guide.
Yeah, it's got pretty much what you need to know. Um, so and like this is what the sheet that I want to make. It'll have the name, a picture of it. Well, that won't be on the sheet, but we can come up with a description. Yeah, then it has like the soil, like general soil requirements, the air requirements based upon like temperature, um, and like humidity, and then it has like primary effect and then secondary effect, which could be just more yeah, something words. It'll have like a secondary effect which you'll have to like unlock by doing something stronger. But yeah, that's the part that I'll have to talk to you about later. But yeah. So that's what the book is. So you purchase the book, um and all of you receive 100 Floyds from Killer Drug.
Thank you.
He says it's for being a good party.
Appreciate it. Okay.
But yeah. So that's 200 Floyds for you. Um if you're just buying it straight up, and then you can put that in your inventory, and I'll make a sheet tomorrow so we can start throwing stuff in there.
Okay. And then I'll ask if there are any plants in the area that are of note. Stuff that you can't get where I'm from. Other than, obviously these two that I found.
He's like, That depends. Are you from the desert?
Nah.
Oh yeah,
No.
there's a bunch in here that are um I guess from the desert. It doesn't actually specify, but you'll have to look through there's like a table of contents and it'll or like a in the index it'll have like certain ones that are listed under with certain characteristics. So like you'd probably if you're, looking at the desert stuff, probably have to look at like sandy soil or sand/sandy soil, and
Well,
then
yeah.
hot
I'm
and
I'm
arid.
asking if there's something around here that's not necessarily in the book. Something that, someone as educated and knowledgeable as this fine shopkeeper would know about that might not be in here.
Oh, you're talking more than just basic plants, eh?
Seeing what's
Um,
available.
so yeah, I can think of two. There is there is one that's said to it's like a fire red like vine that ends up like apparently just like touching and having it sit on your skin for like 10 seconds. It leaves an oil that causes you to absorb more heat from the sunlight, and it'll essentially, if you put enough of this vine's oil on someone's skin and apply some heat to them, they will get 3 times the fire damage done to them.
Oh,
It's hard to find. You'd have to find a it's like in a rocky, but it's in a very sandy spot um in the desert. I don't really know where, but I've heard some people have found it around Ahkasai. I'm not really probably off the beaten path, that's for sure. The other one is more of a it's a type of cactus that if you make a potion with it, you can gain fire resistance. I think it's something to do with the fact that it's absorbing so much heat throughout the day that it just passes it on. But you use like the cactus water and you use that as the base and it can create a fire resistance or something. That's what he tells you.
okay.
So, all right. Yeah, so that's where that is. Anything else in the shop?
Not at the moment. I think first time, and I ask Wilhelm where he wants to go, and I'll, you know, see where he wants to go.
Yeah, so you thank the shopkeep for. I'll say you thank the shopkeep and then the worker as you're walking out, and they both give you a good wave to you and say, have a great day. You get out and you're like, where does a halfling go? Wilhelm, you take me to where you want to go and we'll go. And then you guys just start walking, and Wilhelm, I don't know how, if he just ends up bumping into people or like through people, but like he just starts, he's a goat on a mission.
We're a team, he and I, and there's no reason I should be making all the decisions.
So yeah, you guys start walking around. As you're doing that, Gale,
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, what's up?
you're up.
All right. So the elevator is taking us to level 3, right?
Yeah, you end up getting on at with Colton, and you guys shoot right past level 2. Like you see it as you're going up, like you see it coming, It's kind of like one of those elevators with the glass. You see it coming, and then don't even slow down. You hear the faint sound of a screaming goat as you're going through. But yep, you just keep going, and then so you approach level 3. Although level 3 is different in the fact like it's not a full circle. It's like 2/3.
So
Like,
it's small.
well, like if you're looking up, you see like level 3 is like 2/3 of Ahkasai. Like the level 2, it covers 2/3 of it. And then level 4 is like a half of level 2. But like they overlap enough that it like is still right on top of level 2.
Structurally speaking, these hovering platforms are almost kind of like a cone or a pyramid, getting narrower and narrower towards the top.
Yeah, they probably don't go as far out in terms of like the base, like the square footage or like the diameter of the circle is probably not as long, but yeah.
Does anything strike me about level 3?
Uh, I mean, it looks a lot cleaner and a lot more organized than where you took off from, and possibly level 2. I'd say you looked as you're going through, you kind of looked down enough and you saw like a lot of stuff cramped on it. Level 3 gives you the vibes of like, oh, there's more order up here. That's a better way of saying it.
Seem like a commercial district or more of a place where people with money come to just kind of live?
Yes, the
Or is
second
that
one.
okay? I look over to Colton like, where to level 4?
Oh, yeah, so you guys go up and you step on out of the elevator, and the guard, before you have a chance to actually ask Colton, the guard actually goes to you. He's like, "Welcome. May I have your credentials?"
Meta, do I have credentials?
Yeah.
I offer him my credentials.
You and Colton offer up your credentials. Like, we have Sir Gale from Brockheart and Colton the. I was gonna say Colton the Wise. Yeah, we'll go with that. From Quotith. Welcome. Now, where might you two be headed to?
Representative. I seek the representative for this fine city.
Psst, are you looking for the Sultan?
If that's who's in charge, then yes.
Yes. He's on level 4. You may need a little higher credentials to get up there, but I can point you to the direction. And he kind of like points to sorry, I had to read something. And consider it done. Yeah, so he like literally where you are at, it's the middle of like the island or the level 3. So he points to both directions and he's like, it's the same direction, but go to the end of the platforms or the end of the level. Or go to the end either direction, and there's an elevator up to level 4, and you can actually see it too. Like, the light beams, there's just 2 smaller ones going up to like level 4, and from your angle, you can actually see like the there's not like a castle on top or anything. It just looks like it's kind of what you used to like the castle from Brockheart or something, but it kind of looks something of that nature. But like not nearly as glamorous, I should say, or like extravagant. It looks more like humble, but it is pretty sizely.
Humble castle built upon magnificent floating platforms. It's kind of hard to feel humble about something like that. But I appreciate the sentiment.
Yes.
I'm used to myself.
He's like, all right. Anything else?
No. Guess I'll make my way. Is there anything I should know about the Sultan that you're free to divulge?
It's like, as long as you have manners, they're pretty easygoing people. They take their time, touring it down around here. That like everyone is very friendly with them, or them, and they're very friendly with us. I just hope, the one that you have today is extra kind to you.
Official business. So hopefully kindness doesn't come into play. Or manners. Not exactly my strong suit.
Well, we lead by manners up here. By the way, my name's Mr. Claptrap.
Mr. Claptrap.
Yep, it's a nickname. So that's what we'd go by. If you need anything else, feel free to give me a holler. I'll be manning the elevators.
Will do if need be. In the meantime, I guess I'll be making my way to level 4.
Yeah, so Colton goes with you, and you start walking, and you walking through pretty much like the residential area. There's some like shops up here, but it's more like food and high end, like like it's not the stuff up here is more for aesthetics and not functionality in terms of like purchases, so it's more like luxurious wise. But yeah, there's a few things, but it's mostly just like higher residential pricing. Or
Have my knights with me? Do I have my knights with me?
yeah, I guess it would have came with you. Yeah.
Fellas, listen up. We only have so much money available to spend on goods. Don't spend them on these brand names and extravagant items. We only need practical stuff, like what's on the ground floor.
Like, sir, I wouldn't even, Sir Gale, I wouldn't even think about it. How would we ship it back to Brockheart, honestly?
I'm glad you're not tempted by such needless things. Anyways, without further ado, let's make our way. I head to the elevator to level 4.
Sorry, I had to check something. All right, yeah. So you guys are going, and you walk for some time, and Colin goes to you. He's like, so Sir Gale, you never told me what like what is their mission to go talk to the sultans for?
Just to deliver a notification that the path should be cleared and that the escort mission will continue back to Quodeth. I suppose it's a little more than a transfer of information.
Wait, I got confused. What did you say?
The path should be clear. The trolls should be cleared from the path between Quodeth and Ahkasai, and that the escort mission will be returning to Quodeth.
No, okay, but he was asking, what's the purpose of you coming to Ahkasai?
That was in the mission. That was in the quest mission.
Yeah, that was the quest that you made because you were coming to Ahkasai anyways, and that was the quest that you made to do along the way. But the original reason why you came to Ahkasai is from the uh, it's the assignment or quest that the what was it, king or prince sent you on? I forget which one I told you.
Oh, I think the prince himself sent us, not the king.
Okay, that's what I
I
thought.
can't remember what for.
Okay. Well, essentially, you have a package that you have to deliver, and it's regarding creating a trade route between Brockheart and Ahkasai.
See, Gale didn't forget that. I did.
Yep.
Of course, I have sensitive information for the Sultan. You see, Sultan, I like you, but it's only so much I can divulge to you. This is between kings, royalty, and I am but a messenger.
Well, I wasn't asking what was in the package, but I thought you'd be able to share your overall goal. But fine. Keep your secrets.
Sure, Colton, it's for the good of all of our kingdoms. Brockheart has nothing but the best interests in mind for all.
He, he's like, I, I, bel I believe that you agree with that. I've never been to Brockheart, and I probably should go one of these times. I've heard a lot about them.
Absolutely splendid. You definitely should. Couldn't recommend it enough. I love Brockheart.
So yeah, go ahead.
Everyone should visit at least once.
So as this the conversation goes, you hit the elevator. And there's another guard there. And they ask, they do a whole stop.
Credentials, yes.
Yes, I'd like to see both your credentials.
By all means, I offer them.
All of your credentials, as the knights are with you too. So he looks at them, and he goes, "What purpose do you have to use this elevator?"
I have a message from the King of Brockheart to the Sultan of Ahkasai.
What purpose?
Well, Prince of Brockheart to the Sultan of Ahkasai.
And what purpose is this message?
Do you speak on behalf of your Sultan? How can I be sure that such sensitive information is safe in your hands?
I mean, if you don't tell me why you are delivering him a package, you can't go up.
I guess. Fine. I was hoping to maintain some level of discretion about this, but I suppose it's harmless enough. We're trying to build trade routes between kingdoms. We cleared the path between Quoth and Ahkasai on behalf of Brockheart to help make it easier for Brockheart to trade with Ahkasai through the ports of Quoth, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to go that deep into it, but yeah. The he like listens to you, he's a little confused, and he's like he like stares at you for a second. And he looks at he's like, "You're Colton, right?" Yeah, and you're like, this guy telling the truth?" He's rubbing me the wrong way. And one of the knights chime in. He's like, "Don't worry, he does that to everyone. He has the best of intentions." And the guard is like looking at you. He's like, "All right, you can go. But if I hear so much as a holler from up there, I'm coming for you.
About a hoot.
Huh?
I said, what about a hoot?
He only said a holler.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he activates the elevator. These are different as they're not constantly going. So like you can tell there's not a lot of traffic that goes through it. So like it kind of lights up and like the light beam starts from the top and bottom and like meets up together. And as soon as they do meet up, then he like, all right, you may go. And he allows you guys to step in.
All right. Glad to see you got my back, Colton. Anyways,
He goes,
This
I try to help.
yeah, sure. Anyways, let's head to the Sultan.
Yeah, so you go up and you get to the top of the elevator, you walk out, and it's very well kept up here. Kind of like the um like well, I don't know, didn't think it was a castle in Kodeth, but like it's it looks very similar to like the royalty of like the other cities you've been to, where like everything is well manicured, like laid out purposefully and all that type of stuff. Um very, very well presentation wise, very clean. Um so yeah, you proceed down the path and uh there's a pathway all the way to like what looks like the front gate or like the front door that's nice and open. Um
Nice
you
to
guys
open.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll walk through unless anybody stops me.
Yeah, so you guys walk in, and there's a secretary there, and they're like, "Hello, how welcome to the Palace of Ahkasai. How may I help you?"
I'm here to deliver a package from the Prince of Brockheart to the Sultan of Ahkasai pertaining to trade agreements.
Oh, all right. Let me check your schedule. Yeah, this is a pretty good time. If you would like to go have a seat, I will go let them know, and we'll figure out which room that you guys are headed to.
Okay. Take a seat, fellas. I say to my knights. I
God,
sit
my
down
throat's
somewhere.
getting dry. Love talking.
Drink.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys all sit down or walk around or whatever. And after some time, when the secretary comes back and she's like, "Okay, the Sultans will see you now."
I'm ready. Bring me to your leader.
And yeah, so you walk it. She starts guiding you, and as you're walking through, like you see like the entire like palace is like even this one very clean. Like it looks like marble walls or floors, like concrete walls and stuff. Like the trim is like very precise. It looks very like someone took very either had super high standards and or took a lot of time, or people took a lot of time doing making this. Um and making it just right. So
This is Brockhart's palace.
is it?
I appreciate it.
I forget what the inside of Brockhart's palace looks like. But
Well, Gale makes it.
yeah, so you start walking, and then she brings you to a room, and there's 3 chairs at the top of a well, not the top. You walk in, there's a table in front of you. At the end, there's like another like round table that's kind of like just off of it. a little bit bigger, but it's made that way so that the 3 people sitting at that table can see everyone at the main table, type of thing.
I'm going to do a wisdom check. And I don't know if I need to do that for this or if it'll even help. But I just want to know, etiquette wise, which table should I sit at?
The one that has space.
Okay, I sit at the one that has space.
Okay, well, I was just say the secretary is bringing you up to the front, and you're like, all right, and you grab a chair and sit down. And then none of the other ones, like none of the other people are sitting down, so you like, maybe not, and you quickly get back up and jump back in line, and
Yeah.
and she goes, wait, where are they? Yeah,
I was just testing I was just testing those seats, making sure they were safe. Wouldn't want any, delicates or anybody, get, sore bum sitting on one of these.
Yeah, so it looks like the 3 they kind of look, and one of you knights chuckles just to kind of like help them out. But yeah, right after that, the secretary's like, all right, so Gale, Colton, so night 1, so night 2, this is Sultan Arda, Sultan Hollis, and Sultan Camille. Samil?
Yeah.
Samil. And then she does the same way. And you can see that they actually have like a helper so that they don't have to get up and like move around. There's someone to like transfer stuff between everyone.
Like a helper, is in like they're so fat they need to be picked up, or just like somebody to assist them?
No, it's more like the bailiff for a judge type of helper.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so you see the or the 2 knights kind of give a bow. Colton does like similarly,
As well.
and just because like they're not really sure what to do, and the sultan's going, no, 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 please, and the one in the middle like stands up like, oh, no need for that. I hear that you are representatives from the great kingdom of Brockheart.
Indeed, we are. I say with pride.
Colton charges up. Well, I'm from Coronis, but I brought them here. And he goes, very well. Tell what is the Lord Zan?
Zon the Giant, yes, from Quoted.
He goes, Colton, tell Lord Zan that we say hi. It's been a while. He should come by soon. No, Colton, responding. Oh, yeah, I can do that. When we get back, I'll definitely do that. And yeah, so one of like the one who he's been standing up is like, please, have a seat at the table and join us, and we can have our discussion. And then you see the helper like kind of go and like just separate the like big table that was like the long table there, and it kind of like pulls at one part of it, and a whole chunk like almost looks like it breaks off, and he pulls chairs around so that like you're sitting at a table and you're looking at them and they're sitting at a table, kind of like and then he walks off to the side, and he motions for you to all sit down at the table.
Usual table. I sit down.
In what order are the people going to sit?
I motion for my knights to take a seat before I do. Colton can do whatever he wants. I don't really even know if he needs to do anything else. So I just motion for my knights to sit down.
So we'll go Colton, night number 2, night number 1, you.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you guys go sit down. I think that was Sultan Hollis. Yes, he sits down, and one of the other ones chime. So what do we owe the pleasure of Sir Gale from the Kingdom of Brockheart to join us today?
Your Majesty, all the information you need is in this package here, though if you're feeling a bit hasty for the contents of that package, to my awareness, it pertains to a building of trade agreements. You see, we had cleared the path between Quoth and Ahkasai, the ones that most travelers take. And we were hoping that by doing so, we would not only establish rapport between the Kingdom of Brockheart and yours, but to also make the paths clear and help build trade between my kingdom, Brockheart, and yours.
Meta-wise, did you know that the clearing the path in the mountains was literally just a quest from a favor from the Lord Zan, right? It had nothing to do with the quest to go to Ahkasai initially.
Oh, well, we kind of needed to do it to make the trade agreement anyways. It kind of just became something we only learned about once we got to Coda, huh?
Uh, you have to do it? No. Were you being nice and doing it? Yes.
Yeah.
You were helping out Crotus. That's what you're doing.
Yes. Sorry. I misspoke slightly. We're building rapport with Quoth and Ahkasai by fulfilling this escort mission and delivering this package to you. Two birds, one stone. Quite efficient, as is the Brockheart way.
So you're saying all that to him?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you present the package? I'm assuming you're presenting the package.
With a bow of my head, I hold it out in front of me. I don't know if the table's too big for me to give it to them, but
Well, the table's not the issue. It's the gap between the two tables.
oh,
But yeah, so you hold out the package and like the helper walks up, kind of grabs it, and like takes a step back so that like all of you can see him, like you all and the sultans, and then he like starts opening it in front of you.
I just smile and look. I'm so ready for him to see the good news.
And then he, unwraps it. There's a card on top and a little box. And he's like, okay. So he hands the card to them first. The third one, goes, grabs it, kind of reads it. Taking a second. He's reading it to make sure he understands it, and then he's gonna like tell everyone else. And he goes, all right. So this is a letter and a package from the Prince of Brockheart extending
Indeed.
their hand in gratitude towards the kingdom of Ahkasai, and is appreciating what we've done for the world in opening up the trade route from the sea through Ahkasai. They are presenting us with a gift, and he points at the helper, and the utmost respect in the hopes that there can be a trade route established between Brockheart and Ahkasai. It looks like this trade route is for a purpose of exchanging luxuries and other material assets, as well as, of course, money, as we all love. And it'll be through the river, through the mountains, through the river, or till Quodith, across the sea to Yellow Seed, and from Yellow Seed to Brockheart. And that's
Right.
the gist of it, as he's telling the other sultans.
Do I hear that?
Yeah, he was saying it out loud.
Yes, my prince puts this message far more elegantly than I could have possibly put into words.
He kind of looks at you. He's like, I mean, I hope. No disrespect, but I certainly hope so. As a prince and a leader, they are generally like they should be better with portraying what they're trying to say than necessarily their enforcers or diplomats.
Yes, indeed. My prince is quite remarkable. I say with unsarcastic pride.
Yeah. Yeah, so they look at it. And they're like, "Oh, let's see that gift." And the helper goes, brings the gift. What did I have as a gift? I forgot what the gift was actually going to be.
Something that I would love.
I'm just gonna say, like, they open it up and it's like, it's. I was gonna say the Minotaur horn, but that was not in the Zeptarian catacombs, was it?
You would have to consult Manbear on that. I don't remember. Manbear,
What am I trying to remember?
was a Minotaur horn from the Zeptarian catacombs?
No, it was before. It's what led us to the Zaptarian catacombs. It was from the place where we rescued Ariel's bodyguard.
Zero.
Yeah.
That
It
was in a
related-
bodyguard.
Boyfriend, bodyguard, knight, dude, whatever.
Yeah, it was the Goblin Camp. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's an elegant. What do you want? Just because I'm eating does not mean you get something to eat. Anywho, yeah, there's an elegant figurine. I'll say that they pull out, and they set on the table. And yeah, it's kind of like Brockheart in a nutshell. But yeah, so the three of them, they kind of like look at each other, discuss a little bit, and they look at you. They're like, "Oh, well, Sir Gale, we will have to discuss this further amongst us. How soon are you planning on heading back to Brockheart?"
The day after tomorrow, I plan to depart our escort quest to Quota. So, day after tomorrow, we're planning to leave. So I can have a night remain, or myself if need be. If you need more time to come to an arrangement.
No. And where are you guys staying at? We
There are
can
other-
send we will send a package nonetheless. And you shall receive it just before you guys head on out. At this point, Colton chimes up. We're staying at, and he says the name of the hotel on the first level, by the west gate. Yeah. And then one of the Sultans chimes up. Oh, excellent. Yeah, we will once we have came to a conclusion, we'll send a package there, so that you may deliver it back to the Prince of Brockheart.
I appreciate your hospitality, my majesties. Or your majesties. How do you address foreign royals?
Oh, please, no. Let's call us. So, oh shit, what's the name? Please just call us Saltarda, Salt Halis, and Salt Samilia. Samila. Emil.
Alice. Artist and salt a meal. All right, salt. Cool.
So, at that note, they thank you for your time, and if you have nothing else, then they're gonna dismiss you.
I have nothing else, so I'll be dismissed.
And you guys proceed to leave the palace.
Very excellent. Good job, Colton. You're working there.
Well, it looked like everything went off without a hitch. So let's hope for good news. For your sake, when you get back to Brockheart.
Expect nothing less. An invitation from the Prince of Brockheart. It's an invitation any wise leader would want to reciprocate. After all, my prince and my king are both some of the greatest people in the world. Absolutely fantastic. Who wouldn't want to listen to an invitation to a trade agreement? I try to hold back, I'm shedding a tear just thinking about my kingdom.
You do that. But yeah, as you do that, you guys, get back to the elevator, jump on, and proceed on down to level 3. And then at this point, will join Mr. Sleepyhead Gnome Face.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm still wandering the shops. I'm guessing here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but probably mid-afternoon, a little later in the day after my swordsman visit with the magic swordsman dude. I still need to find somebody to help me with my enchanting, and I'm still looking for a necklace to help me boost my mana regen. I do know that I agreed to meet Gale at the Coliseum before sundown, so whatever I get to first, I imagine.
Yeah, so essentially the stuff you did at the end of Ooh, the hot sauce hit. The stuff you did at the end of the last session would have been done in the time it took them to get up here. So while they were on the elevators when you left the person's shop that you got the sword from.
Okay.
So they went through
So
their
how
stuff.
much time do I have? Like,
You have like 6 hours. It's like noon.
okay. Okay. Well then, like you said, I'm still kind of perusing the shops. I'm looking for anything that really specializes in enchanting. I feel like I would be able to find an enchanted necklace in an area that also specializes in enchanting, so they should be pretty close to each other.
What do you want to do first? Sorry.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to do
Well,
first?
like I said, I imagine they'd both be around the same area since I'm looking for enchanting. So anywhere that like specializes in enchanting.
Like specify enchanting.
Well, like I want to go more obscure. I've got my basics for damage. I've got my basics for enchanting elements. What I want to do now is to get some obscure enchantments, like something I could put on a ring for float, or for wall walk, or for invisibility. More limited, like you have to use it, and you can only use it so many times before it's expired, or I have to re-enchant it. But also more utilitarian.
Okay. So you want enchant? I was more or less saying, do you want it for like armor, weapons, or like accessories? Because that's how it would be
Accessories, like
split up.
rings, necklaces.
Yeah, because that's how
Yep.
it would be split up in the shops up here.
Okay.
So yeah, so essentially you find one that kind of looks like it has a lot of accessories on it. Judging from like window shopping, and you walk in and you see a whole lot of like different like rings, amulets, like all sorts of different accessories, like hair clips, like lots of stuff, belts.
Okay. I walk to the counter and I greet the counter person.
And they're like, "Hi, hello, welcome to the best accessory shop on the second level. We're not gonna say it's the only one, but it might as well be." Um,
I smile at that and chuckle.
yeah, so the HUD pops up like normal. Buy,
Mhm.
sell, talk.
First, I click buy. I want to go through their wares. For my personal use, I am looking for an amulet that boosts my my mana recharge.
All right. Yeah, you're scrolling through their stuff, and most of their accessories aren't enchanted. Like I'd say probably like
Mm-hmm.
2/3 of them. Going through like
Okay.
the more expensive stuff is actually the enchanted stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess you dig around and find that one is it's a mana recharge 1 point per turn, and it's on a
1 point per turn.
yeah, like passive.
Well, that boosts my already 1d4 and my one. Might as well. It gives me a boost. How much?
Um, it's listed for 1,000 floats.
Okay. I go back up to the what quality is it? Sorry.
Great.
Okay. I go back up to the top. I also want to look at getting some minor rings, non-enchanted,
I'd say
for me to
it's
work with.
um I'd say good rings, right? That's the third one. The second one.
Yeah,
Oh, basic rings.
yeah.
Are they on here?
Well, if I can get good, I'd go with good.
Are they listed on here or no?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. I was gonna say like basic would be 50. Uh, like no effects
So,
or anything necessarily. Maybe
mhm.
wait, no. Cheap would be 50 gold a piece. So I'd say 150 per ring
For good.
for good ring. Yeah. Well, my eye just blurred.
Okay. 150. I'll do 5.
Okay.
So that's 750. So that loses me 1750. 23, 24.
Can you mark down for how much you bought them for?
In a second. 23, 24 minus 175 0. Oh, gotta put the equal sign in front of it. Still learning Excel. Where's the equal sign? Equals. Enter. Okay. Yeah, I'll put them down. I bought them for 150 each. Okay, and now after I finish my purchases, I want to go to talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, how can I help, or what can I
Um,
do for you? What do you want to talk
I
about?
smile. I do my whole little hat thingy that I always do. Um,
you do that. So
Sorry, I was typing. And then I'm like, so I'm a beginner enchanter myself, and I see you sport some fine enchanted gear. I was wondering if you yourself or somebody you know may either teach me some of these more obscure enchantments or be willing to sell me guides to learn these enchantments so I can continue my craft.
he goes, that all depends on what you want to enchant. If all you're looking is to add some elements or status effects to, a couple gears and or a couple weapons and armor. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any guides for sale, but one or two of the shops do. Otherwise, the bookshop would have one.
I kind of I wait for them to finish and then I shake my head. I was like, no, no, no. I have actually quite a repertoire of some very basic enchantments for armors and weapons. I am looking for the more obscure, random things that you don't think you would actually need enchantments for accessories, like these good rings I just purchased off of you.
Like, yeah, you may just have to go to a bookstore then. That stuff doesn't usually sell too much down here.
Can you point me in the way of the bookstore then, good sir?
Oh yeah, he gives you directions like, yeah, you go out, you take a right, then you hang a left after 2 houses and keep going and should be up there on your right. Something like that.
Okay. Before I leave, I actually want to pull up the menu again and see if he has any jewels for sale.
He does not.
Okay. Well,
He's
then I
not a
exit
jeweler.
and I head my way. Well, I was just double checking. I exit, and then head on my way. And I have to pee, so you're gonna have to go to somebody else for a minute.
How wooed. Alright, which one do you want to go first?
Sen doesn't have anything better to do. All I'm gonna do is head to the arena.
I kind of forgot about that.
You forgot about it?
The big showdown. We've been waiting for it.
I've been
Yeah.
more focused. All right, now I know where we're gonna get to. I've been more focused on trying to think of try to create random shit for people to buy today, while
We
not
can always go
doing
back to Wilhelm's Day Out.
that.
Go to Sven. I want to see Wilhelm stay out.
Oh, okay. I was gonna just say, um, so while Gnome Face went up and did the stuff with the sword shop with the sword, you were going up after he was getting done with that. So this is like the time when he goes to the other shop. You're making your way down, and judging by the time, when you saw them, by the time it took you to get all the way up here, when you saw the Sultans, it was probably like 3:30. So by the time you get back to level 2, you'd have to get to arena to go to fight. So that's what you're doing, Gale.
Probably gonna take all my time, huh?
Pretty much.
Cool with that. Sit back, focus.
Yeah, I mean it takes time to walk, pretty much. All right, Wilhelm's Day Off. Where is he going?
I have no idea. That's up for him to decide.
I'm not him.
I imagine he's looking for something to eat. There's a bakery around here, something like that.
Sorry about that. I have a child-sized bladder.
All right. Roll d4s until you get 4 of any direction, or 4 of like the same direction. 1 is north, 3 is south, or 1 north, 2 east, 3 south, 4 west. Once you hit 3 or 4 of a sim number, that's where he'll go. In terms of like quadrants, that's where you'll end up.
So keep rolling d4s until I get 4 that are sequentially the same.
Not sequential. Just whenever you
Okay.
hit 4. A certain number.
I'll start with 8.
Ah,
Huh.
Yeah, Wilhelm is going all over the place. He starts going south, takes a sharp left to east, and decides, nope, I'm going the wrong way. Turns around, goes west. And he's like, wait, no. I think north is the right way. You start going north for a little bit. And then he goes around the building, goes east. And walks like a couple buildings. And then goes south. And then goes west. And it's at this point you're feeling like you're going in a circle. And then he goes north again. Roll.
Few more?
I mean, none of them are in the lead. They all have 2.
Very even distribution.
All 4
It's-
numbers are evenly on 2 piece.
It's unnatural how evenly split they are. I'll just do 4 more.
All you needed was the 2 and the 3 on the second group of 4 to get flipped, and it was exactly the same.
Ah, one's a winner. Okay.
Literally. Yeah, so you guys start you're walking around, and then yeah, it heads north. And then yeah. You come up to like a nice bakery actually. It has like blueberry muffins. There's a lot of fruit muffins, a lot of cakes. And it starts to get some like weird looking pastries that you have to assume are delicacies because they don't look appetizing. But if a bakery's making them, then they must taste really well. And
I mean,
so like
Vegemite's a thing, and that tastes like Vegemite. So, just because it's delicacy doesn't mean it's great. I'm
Yep.
sure Wilhelm would dig it.
yeah, it's essentially like he hits this like shop and he's just like, and he's just smelling, like trying to figure out where to get the food.
I'm just gonna ask him, uh, what do you want? Just point it out.
It seems like he wants to go inside because that's where the smells are coming from.
I'm sure it is. You think they'll believe he's my seeing eye goat?
I'm gonna say like as you start approaching the door and like you start to open, like he sniffs and he's like, wait a second, this isn't it. And kind of walks around the side of the building and you find a pile of like day old pastries that are just like essentially they're on the curb to get taken away. And then he like finds one specific one in there, pulls it out, and just starts eating it.
Oh, I thought he was gonna go hog on the whole pile. Like, I'm not gonna be able to pick him up to get him off this level.
Well, I mean, he started with one. I don't know if he continues with the rest of them, but like, there was one smell in there that he was following, and that's the one he found.
It's something he's about. Well, I'll try and figure out what that was, just so, next time I owe him one, I know what to pick up.
I'd say like it's kind of like I'd say it's more of like a Danish with the like a cream or whatever that's on the top or whatever, and you probably
Like a
can
cheese
like
Danish?
yeah, similar to that. You can like you might be able to like sneak your finger in there, grab a bunch of it, and like go inside and ask them, and then I'll give you an answer next time. Snosberry Danish.
Snosberry Danish?
Yeah,
Okay,
put that
that
down.
works.
All right, no face. While Wilhelm is
Okay.
destroying a pile of Danishes, where are you going again?
Going to the bookstore.
You go to the bookstore. It's kind of packed. It's oddly packed, but like there's a lot of books in there.
Okay.
Books
I
are
head to the
packed.
counter or the index or whatever I need to do.
Okay. Oh yeah, you head to the counter.
I greet the person and wait for my thing to pop up.
I mean, it does. You say hi, and they're like, "Hey, how can we help you?" And then it's pretty much like buy, sell, talk,
Buy.
donate.
Donate.
Yeah, there's a donate option.
Well, if I find what I think, maybe I'll donate. I go to buy first.
All right, yeah. So you go to buy, and it starts having like a whole lot of words. There's a whole lot of books listed, and it like goes from like fire level 1, fire level 2, fire level 3, fire level 4,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes through all the
I look
elements,
for a
and it
search
goes
function.
through all. Yeah, just hadn't got that far yet. And like yeah, it proceeds that way where like some books are like more expensive, and some books are like cheaper, and you can tell like it's you paying for like how the size of the book and stuff like that. So like the thinner books are cheaper on each level and stuff like that. Yeah, go for a search.
I don't look for cheaper. I'm fine with more expensive. I want to find accessory enchantments.
Um I I'd say probably some, but that's a weird thing to search for.
Accessory enchantments is a weird thing to search for.
I mean, I guess it works. Yeah, you see a bunch in there.
Yeah, I look for a primer, with recipes or with rules or however you want to place it on accessory enchantments, and I want a wide variety. So the more I read it, the more I can parse out. I don't want it to be just like one recipe or two recipes.
Okay, I'll have to fully get back to you on this, but it's going to be more of something like and like you can have different charges based upon the size of the book, but like it'll go from like I'd say probably between 3, 5, and 8 uses.
I'd go for like a $5.
Well, I'm telling you what's there, or what it's gonna be there.
Sorry.
I'm not, because I'm not gonna come up with the names off the spot right now. So it'd be like a 3, a 5, a 8, and then it would be like level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they'd probably broken up into like movement enhancement, in terms of like accessories you wear, probably movement enhancement and movement decrease, like regen, like HP regen, MP regen, and stuff like that nature.
Okay.
So if you can like figure out how to categorize a specific ones you're looking for.
I could tell you right now, movement would probably be the best for what I'm looking for. 'Cause I am looking to adjust movement, whether it be an advanced movement such as floating, levitating, versus a simple movement like walking up a wall. That's what I'm looking for. Movement enhancement.
Okay. What levels?
I'd like medium level, so 5 uses, level 2 to 3.
Okay, so level 2. Yeah, level 2 you're allowed to get. Level 3 it asks you to present your Ahkasai was it Ahkasai Wizards Academy ID.
I store that knowledge for later, that there is a Wizards Academy here, but I am still pining for Brockheart, so I'm not going to go looking for it. But I do definitely keep that in mind. Ahkasai. Okay. So I'll buy the level 2 book then. And then you can iron out details later if you want, just how much ever it's going to cost me.
Yeah, just put in your character sheet and just put a note afterwards that like just something to bring my attention to it. Like, hey, dipshit, fix this. Something that usually gets my
Yeah.
attention. So
Well, that's if you actually look at my character sheet.
yeah, that would help when I get there. Yeah. So you do that.
How much is it going to cost me?
Yes. We'll have some stuff next week.
Sounds good.
One of the things I was supposed to do this week, but yeah, didn't quite happen. Okay, yeah.
After that, I've achieved all I've looked for. So if I still have time, I want to just wander around and appreciate the magic as I make my way towards the Coliseum for my fated duel.
One of the arenas, but yes.
Yeah.
Did you want to inquiry about the donate part? I know you said something about
Oh
it.
yeah, sure. Well, I'll click on it since they had the books I wanted.
Yeah. I say all it pretty much says is like, have any unused or unfinished primers. Have any primers that are no use to you but yet unfinished, donate them for in-store credit. And it pulls up your inventory and you can choose what ones to donate.
Oh
So
well, I've
pretty,
got the Zaptarian language book. I'll donate that one. I've got my basic enchanting book. I'll donate that one. I want to keep the forbidden art of changing spells. That's all I got for books.
all right, mark a note and I'll come up with how much store credit you get for that. Wait, you want to
Okay.
donate the
Well, I'm gonna-
Zaptarian? You're not even fluent yet.
Yes, I am.
I thought you were conversational.
I'm level 2. You said I can read and speak conversational.
Yeah, that's conversational. That's not fluent.
Yeah,
Once,
but I remember you telling me I can't learn anymore from the book.
oh, maybe that's the limit of that book then. Ha ha ha.
Because yeah, you told me that was as high as it would get me.
So in other words, you need an intermediate book and then an advanced book to fully become fluent.
Or actually talk to people who speak Septarian.
That too. Okay. So yeah. I'm gonna say you walk around and you appreciate the hell out of this city. Like from the second level, you can see the third and fourth level above and how there's no way that they should be up there. Especially on the fact like there's barely anything holding them together. Like the only thing you can think of is the light beams that are only there half the time. And on top of that, most of these houses should not be standing. Like as you're walking around or whatever, you can tell like it's pretty much shops on the bottom and apartments on top type of thing. And most of these buildings should have fallen down a long time ago. So you're just kind of like they're there's some sort of magic flowing through here that I do not know yet. And it's just everywhere. And yeah, so as you're doing that, you make your way to an arena. And I'm gonna say out of stroke of luck, Gale, you go to the same arena. Colton left you when you got back down to the second platform.
Fair enough. He's got no further interest in what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, he was more like, oh, okay. I brought you back to the second level. Good to go. I'm gonna say that you and the knights either, I'll leave this up to Sven to decide, but you either bump into Sven and Wilhelm, or you guys are just walking down the street and made enough noise that Sven pointed you out and was like, oh, hey, we probably should follow him if we want to watch this, if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I imagine they pass by, and I'll pull Wilhelm's, he's probably shoulder deep in that, his head just buried in a pile of pastries. I'm gonna pull him out, like, come on, man, we gotta go, let's go, and head over to the arena to watch.
Yeah, so yeah, let's join them next time. We'll call it there because I'm pretty sure. Well, he's giving me the stink eye. Like, can you see that right now? Just
No, there's something wrong.
mean mugging me this entire time. Just like, hey, time to go out. I also had to take him out earlier because we went to go house looking at its normal time. So I'm like, oh, I actually have to take him out like an hour and a half earlier than I normally do. So, and I was gone for like half the day. But yeah, so I'm gonna take him out, and so this is a good time to call it. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Just
Okay.
you
What?
work. It doesn't have to be like part of the recording the session.
All right, let me close it out then, and give me a second. But yeah, so everyone, join us next time when we find out what happens between the battle between Gale and Gnome Face, and also what happens.
Spoiler alert! I'm gonna win.
No, you won't.
And also we'll find out what happens on their second day, which I don't know how much they have planned, but yeah, so we'll find out what happens, and then the third day is when Gale is headed on back, and whoever decides to join him joins him. So I think most people were planning on it, but we'll find out. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and drop a like, subscribe, follow, review, comment, all the good stuff, and I hope to see you next week. Wednesday, right? Wednesday's good for all of you.
Yeah.
You Wednesday.
Well,
Right.
it's not necessarily good, but it's doable.
Yeah. Okay. Is it better than my Friday?
Probably,
Well, my Friday's not
as long
existent.
as it's an actual short session and not your short session that lasts 3 hours.
Well, make the fight quick, and then it'll be a short session.
Oh well, I plan on blowing Gale Lavinus straight to the moon.
Plan on giving you a chance.
I mean, if I have to break this into 2 parts, then so be it. But anyhow, all right, Sven. Any last words, or should I ask Wilhelm? It's your turn to give the last words.
Last words from Wilhelm: Dale pastries are the best pastries.
So true.
That's
honestly.
awesome.
Honestly, though. All right, everyone. Love y'all, and thank you for hanging out. And catch us next week. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.